and welcome back to my channel. I'm Sophie and I run Agnes LDN, and in this week's video I'm going to be showing you how to make your own plant-based milks at home. I'm also going to show you how to use your pulp and how I use up my pulp, making it completely zero waste. We don't really want any food waste, and for this video I've managed to get all my supplies completely plastic free, so I will tell you how I did that and where I got them from as well. So you will need something to strain the milk through. I'm using one of our cotton and bamboo milk bags available on my website. I'll pop a link below. A jug or something to strain the milk into. A jug is easiest, and you'll also need something to blend your milk with. I'm just using a normal smoothie maker. I'm going to show you how to make oat milk. I brought the oats in a paper bag from the supermarket, so these are really easy to get hold of. I'm also going to be making hazelnut milk, cashew milk from cashew pieces. We've got some almonds for almond milk, and then finally, a slightly unusual one, we've got some hemp seeds. So the hemp seeds and the almonds, cashews and hazelnuts I bought online at Green Habits, and they came packaged in paper bags, so that was plastic free. So making your own milks at home is better for you and it's better for the environment. It's better for you because you know exactly what you're putting in it. If you use up the pulp, then you get the goodness from the whole nut or grain. And it's better for the planet because we are using less packaging and we are putting less ingredients in it. If you want, you can add dates to your mixture. I just personally, say for example for oat milk, I just use oats and water, but if you want to sweeten it, you can add dates, or if you want a different flavour, you could add salt, you could add some spices, you could also add some like chocolate to make chocolate milk. So yeah, it's completely up to you and you can kind of experiment with it. Let me know in the comments below what your favourite type of plant-based milk is. So first of all, with all the milks I'm making, the first thing you want to do is soak them. The nuts I've been soaking for 6 hours already now. So I've soaked the hazelnuts for 6 hours. I've soaked the cashew nuts for 6 hours, and the almonds have been soaking for 6 hours as well. Ideally, I would soak them overnight, but I forgot, so I started soaking them first thing this morning. I'm gonna soak the oat milk now, so I always put 1 part oats to 3 parts water. That's how I make it. You could try and experiment with a bit less water or a bit more water, depending on how you like the consistency of your milk. So I'm just gonna add some water. I have seen it where people will soak their oats and then they will ditch that water that they've been soaking them in, and then they'll use filtered water to make the oat milk with. I will just blend it up in the water that I've been soaking it in because I don't see the point in wasting that water and just discarding that water, but that's just personal preference. So I filled about 1/3 of the bottle with oats, and now I'm going to fill the remainder of the bottle with water and leave the oats to soak in the water for 30 minutes. So I'm going to blend up my hazelnut milk. I really like hazelnut milk for things like hot chocolate, anything that's kind of sweet, maybe coffee. I'll try it in my coffee tomorrow and see how it is, because the nutty flavour goes really well with chocolate. I'm just going to pour this mixture into my blender bottle now and then blitz it all up. So I've blended that for a minute or so and now it is ready to be strained. So I'm going to strain it into my jug, as that tends to be the least messiest way of doing it. This part can get a bit messy, and actually I'm going to take my rings off. Ready. So now it's time to use the milk bag that I mentioned earlier. So I'm going to pop that over the jug and just fold it over the edge of the jug, like so, and pour the mixture into it. And gently lifting the milk bag out, letting the milk strain through. So you can see that's coming through really easily at the moment. So as it gets towards the end, I'm just going to squeeze it more and more to get more of the liquid out. And there you have it. There is your hazelnut milk. And then in the bag, there is this hazelnut pulp left. And it smells really good. You could put this in protein balls, you could put it in cookies or any other kind of baked things, I would say. So cakes or anything like that. I like blend it up with some dark chocolate and make it into a kind of Nutella spread. I'll let you know what I end up doing with it. So I'm going to pop the pulp in a Tupperware tub now and save it for when I've decided what to do with it. So you should just be able to turn the bag inside out and it'll easily come out. What I really like about hazelnuts is it creates like a really dry, crumbly pulp. It's not like slimy at all. So with my hands, I'm just going to try and like wipe as much of the pulp off the bag as I possibly can. And then I will run the bag under the tap to get any excess pulp off, and then the bag can just go straight in the washing machine. So there's my hazelnut pulp ready to reuse later on. There's my hazelnut milk done. I'm going to pop a lid on this and pop it in the fridge. It'll probably last in the fridge for about a week. And then after that, I'd probably just sniff it and see how it smells before using it. Also, the milk and the water may separate. So if it has done that, then I'll just give it a shake before using it. Next up is cashew milk. I've got about a quarter of the bottle was filled with cashew pieces, and then I topped it the rest of the way up with water. The softer the cashews are, the easier it's going to be to blend up. And if you want like milk for your breakfast in the morning, then it's super quick if you've just soaked it overnight, because the actual blending and straining process really doesn't take that long. It's the soaking process that takes the longer. So that is the cashews ready to be blended up. Blended that for about a minute or so. As you can see, it has gone milky, but there's still a lot of sediment in there. So that is where the milk bag comes in, and I'm now going to strain the mixture through the milk bag to get a nice smooth milk. So far, my favourite use for cashew milk is in my porridge. I find it makes my porridge go really creamy. But let me know whether you like cashew milk and how you would use it. Get messier and messier as I go along. So there we have our nice smooth cashew milk. And left in the bag, we have this crumbly cashew pulp. Now I think I'm going to put this in a cheese sauce. Cashew makes really good plant-based cheese. Here's my favourite part. There we go, there's our cashew milk. So my almonds have been soaking in here for the past 6 hours. So now I'm going to blend the water and the almonds up and then strain it to create the almond milk. I might actually replace that because water's a bit of a funky colour. Okay, so now I've freshened the water up, I'm going to blend it up and then strain it. And then our almond pulp ready to be used for something else. And there we have our almond milk. Next up, let's blend the hemp seeds. I have no idea how this is going to go. I have never blended hemp milk before, and I can't even remember the last time I tried hemp milk, but it is a great source of protein, so that's good. These have been soaking for maybe 4 hours now. I wasn't really sure how long they needed. I didn't think they needed as long as nuts, but also I thought that they probably needed a while because they have quite a hard shell. This could be a complete disaster, but we will see. It's not looking very milk coloured. I possibly needed to up my ratio of seeds to water, but we'll keep going and see how it goes. It's looking more and more milky. Okay, so I've ended up having to blend that for a lot longer than I had to blend the other milks. So let's strain it and see what it looks like. It smells quite green. I feel like I might need to use the hemp seed pulp up in like a smoothie or something, where the flavour and colour is masked. Okay, it's looking like milk. Okay, I think that's all the liquid I'm going to get out of that one. So I have this very dark pulp left over. Actually, it could probably go in like a flapjack or some cereal or something like that. Let me know in the comments below if you have any suggestions for how I can use up hemp seed pulp. So now I've separated the pulp from the bag. There is my hemp milk. I'm actually going to try a little bit of this now to see what it tastes like. Oh, it's quite sweet actually. Not sure if I want it in cereal, but I could definitely see myself putting it in like a smoothie or coffee or something like that. Tastes healthy. Okay, so now my oats have been soaking for the past 30 minutes. I'm now going to blend them up and then strain them. And there we have our oat milk. So here we have our finished milks and our finished pulp. So as you can see, the oat milk gave us the least amount of pulp per milk. And then we've got hemp seeds, that was the almond milk and the almond pulp. Then cashew and hazelnut. So all the different pulps. I'm going to try and get these into as many recipes as I possibly can to use them up. The oat will definitely be the easiest to use up because I can just put that in porridge. I may just put like a spoonful of this on top of cereals and stuff like that to use it up. Almonds could go in things like protein balls or flapjacks or something like that. And then cashews, I am making a cheese sauce tonight, so I will put as much of the cashew pulp in that as I possibly can. And hazelnuts, I will probably do something with hazelnuts and chocolate. Hey, so it's now the evening and I'm making dinner, and I just wanted to show you how I'm going to use up some of the cashew pulp in my dinner. I am currently making a butternut squash risotto and I'm making a cheese sauce to mix into the rice when it is cooked. I'm going to use half of this pulp from the cashew milk that I made earlier, and then I think I'm going to save the rest and put it in a pesto. I've got some basil growing, so when the basil has matured a bit more, I'm going to mix some basil, some cashew pulp and some nutritional yeast to make into a pesto. So I'm also going to put the nutritional yeast in my cheese sauce tonight. This I brought also from Greener Habits, and then I just refilled my pot I had left over. For the sauce, I'm using slightly less than half a butternut squash. I'm going to put a bit of mustard in it, and the cashew pulp, like I said. I've got some roasted garlic that I'm going to put in it and some salt, and then I'm just going to blend that all up together. I already roasted the butternut squash last night, so it's already been pre-cooked, so it's nice and soft. So I've popped the squash in the blender. I just separated the flesh from the skin, and now I am going to put in about half of this mixture. And put the 2 garlic cloves that I've already roasted, a pinch of salt, a teaspoonful of mustard, actually slightly less than a teaspoonful of mustard, and then some nutritional yeast to give it a nice cheesy flavour as well. So I'm just eyeballing the nutritional yeast, but it's normally about 3 tablespoons full that I've put in, and then I'm just going to blend it all up and get mustard everywhere. Because I want this sauce to be a little bit runnier, because I'm going to use it in mac and cheese tomorrow night, I think that I'm going to add a can of coconut milk, and I'm going to add the rest of the butternut squash as well to make it go a little bit further. My blender has a crack in it, so let's hope that this doesn't start running out. So I've just added a can of coconut milk and a bit more butternut squash to the sauce. And I'm going to blend it again. Now I have a nice thick, creamy, cheesy sauce ready to put in the risotto and to use for pasta tomorrow night as well. And also it's allowed me to use up my leftover cashew pulp and added a bit of extra protein to my sauce. So when the rice is cooked, I'm going to just stir that in. So my rice is now pretty much cooked and ready for the sauce. So I am going to put half of this cheese sauce into here. And then we're also having crumble tonight, so I'm going to use some of the hazelnut pulp in the crumble mixture. So here's my crumble mixture ready to go: butter, flour and sugar. And then I'm just going to add some of this hazelnut pulp into it as well, just a little bit, but just to use it up and give some flavour. I'm just going to mix it in nice and fine so there are no lumps. And that's another way to use up some of your milk pulp. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. I really hope you enjoyed it and it has inspired you to make your own milks at home, because it is so easy to do. I will be uploading a new video every week, so make sure you subscribe to my channel, like this video if you enjoyed it, and leave me a comment to let me know what you thought and if you have any recipe ideas for me and my poll. Thank you, see you next week.